This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Cheap Scares, The Essential Found Footage, Horror Films, by Stephen Hoover. Intro. Found footage horror films have become one of the best things or one of the worst things to happen to the horror genre, depending upon who you ask. The found footage horror films included in this book represent some great ones, some at least enjoyable ones, and others that, while they may not be good, are very representative of the craze. If they're not great, but they're in this book, it's because they very much show off the tropes and fads found within this format. There are really two types of films that are understood to be part of this genre at present, at least when critics talk about there being too many of them. One is found footage, which has evolved over the years as it has become more popular. The other is mockumentary, which are designed to look and feel like a real documentary and unprofessionally shot, usually made up of camcorder footage that's supposed to have been filmed by the characters themselves. Both types of films often cross over into one another's territory these days, so it makes sense to group them together. Whether one loves it or hates it, found footage has really made an impact. It's allowed directors and actors who may have never appeared in a major release to get exposure. It's allowed some very creative storytelling to revitalize monsters that were getting very long in the tooth. It's also helped Hollywood break out of what seemed like an endless cycle of slashers and torture horror to offer something new. Keep an open mind and, even if you're a bit burnt on this genre, give some of these films a chance. Some of them are very good. If you don't like the shaky camera and bad sound, mockumentaries oftentimes provide much more watchable stories with the same punch that found footage has. Get ready for some chills and possibly a little motion sickness, because we're going on a ride and exploring one of the most profitable and popular trends in horror cinema: found footage. Chapter 1. Terror in the First Person. Smartphones, social media, blogs, YouTube, these things have taken the power to document life and put it in the hands of everyday people, and document life they have. But what happens when the events being documented aren't so ordinary? Moreover, what happens when the events represent the horrific, the fantastical, and oftentimes the supernatural crashing into reality and being caught, right there, on video, for all the world to see? Found footage horror relies on taking the fantastical and documenting it in the most realistic seeming of ways. When it's done right, it shocks the audience, taking away from them the comfort of being able to say, it's only a movie, and the format can take tired stories and villains and present them in fresh and terrifying ways. The basics of found footage. Found footage horror films usually depict a series of events that lead to the death, usually horrible, of at least one of the protagonists in the film. The implication is that the audience is seeing the last footage that the protagonists filmed before meeting their ends. This creates a tension that helps to carry the film, but it does so in a much different way than is seen in most horror films. At the outset of any slasher film, the audience is generally certain which characters are going to die, their fates being entirely predictable based on their actions and their personalities. Found footage horror offers something different. When it's done right, it's unforgettable. Part of the action. In conventional horror films, as was described above, the plot is oftentimes rather formulaic. In the slasher genre, for instance, promiscuity, drug abuse, or just generally being a bad person are usually death sentences for the characters. We watch the story unfold, waiting for the inevitable killing off of each character, but we do so from a distance that, when the film isn't made right, makes the proceedings a bit sterile. The blood and gore might be shocking at first, but soon at least
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.